Hey guys, I don't care what sport you watch. This is where the best information is. Today we are conducting a technical audit of the Los Angeles Lakers' structural deficiencies, specifically focusing on their inability to sustain defensive rotations for a full 48-minute regulation and the statistical anomalies surrounding their perimeter shot conversion rates.
They're at and things they do well consistently versus like kind of the build that you guys are trying to put together.
You want me to compare us to them?
No, I want to know where you think so about like sort of as this team is on. It's like
that's a championship team right there. We're not. So I don't understand.
What are the biggest things you think that are keeping this team as right now?
We can't sustain energy and effort for 48 minutes, and they can. That's why they won a championship.
There you go.
Oh, look at that. I like that name. I like that name.
Got it.
Thank you very much.
What do you think about what LeBron said?
I like that.
I think you nailed it. Listen, I've watched the Lakers. They were in the Garden a couple weeks ago. The Lakers, so they're available on television regularly. And the first thing that you're struck with when you watch this group, considering the Western Conference, is they don't have enough size, and then they don't defend. Like, there's just no way around those two things. And I get it. Luka Doncic potentially having an otherworldly postseason performance is not out of the realm of possibility. But just on a functional level of the grind and how difficult it is to win, I think that's what you heard from that sound from LeBron James. How much he respects the way that the Thunder are able to bring it consistently, as he said. So, to me, the Lakers, to me, as I'm watching, this year is whatever it may be. It is not a year that is going to go down in the Lakers' legacy books, whatever. They are clearly trying to figure out how they're going to move forward with Luka Doncic as a centerpiece, and that begins this offseason.
Yeah, the Lakers can also be streaky shooters. What do you think, Essay, about what LeBron said?
You know what, Shay, I'm going to defer to my brother, Big Perk, because, he hasn't been on in the morning too much for First Take, throughout these last few months. So I'm going to warm and re-ingratiate him with our audience. Feel free, he's up in the morning in some undisclosed location. Let the brother speak first, and then I will follow. You may go.
Undisclosed.
You may go.
Well, I would say shots were fired. Shots were fired. That was shots fired at Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka, because LeBron said we're not able to sustain for 48 minutes, meaning that you don't have the personnel and the depth to compete at a high level for 48 minutes. We already knew that. What did Rob Pelinka do at the trade deadline? He went out and got Luke Kennard. Now, I'm not saying Luke Kennard is not a damn good basketball player offensively. We know he's one of the best three-point shooters in the game, but that's not been the offense hasn't been the Lakers' issue. The Lakers' issue has been their toughness, right? Who's going to anchor the front line? It hasn't been DeAndre Ayton. Don't get caught up in those numbers, especially when he have double-doubles, because that's fool's gold. Jackson Hayes, you don't know mentally, is he going to be checked in or checked out every single night? And they don't have perimeter dogs to defend at a high level consistently and provide some offense. But again, it goes back to this. The Lakers have moved on from LeBron James. Mm-hmm. He's crying for the championship roster, and they're telling him right in the front of his face in today's world, in 2026, that it's not about you no more. This is about Luka Doncic. This is about our future. We're not rushing to do anything to please you. This is what this is about.
Well, listen. First of all, let's understand this about LeBron James when he said about them being able to sustain effort and not us. Do you know what the Lakers' record is when they have a lead going into the fourth quarter?
It was like 18-1.
You know what the record is? 23-0. They're undefeated. Right here. 23-0 when they enter the fourth quarter with the lead. When they enter the fourth quarter with the lead. They're 23-0. So those last 12 minutes, you're looking at them and it's like, it's a problem for them in a lot of instances, elsewhere. The bottom line is this. You don't have to, Big Perk, build the team around LeBron James and his desire, because LeBron James and his desire doesn't necessarily have to be separate and apart from that of Luka Doncic. What I mean by that is that the needs are the needs, whatever they may be. Luka Doncic is a superstar offensive basketball player. I'm not sure he could guard you, Perk. I'm not sure. You know, the bottom line is that he ain't trying to. Most of the time, he is not. He will never, ever be accused of being a stout defensive player. Okay? Well, when they're talking about execution, we keep thinking offense. It's everything. Why did I not have a problem with them getting Luke Kennard? Because do you realize that the Lakers shoot better contested from the perimeter than they do open shots? They miss more open shots. I mean, no wonder you haven't seen J.J. Redick smile since Thanksgiving. The man is watching his team, one of the great shooters the NBA has seen. He is watching dudes get wide open shots and can't make them. It's gotten to the point where you see opposing teams like, should we really guard them out there? Let them shoot. When we contest them, they make some of those shots. They don't make open shots. This is who they are. And so and then you combine that with what they don't do defensively, collectively, in terms of effort consistently over a 48-minute period, you're not going to look at them and say they're a championship team. But I tell you this much, they have the personnel where they could surprise you. I don't think it'll happen. Don't get me wrong. But a lot of it is not even because of your personnel. It's because of the effort that they don't give you. You know, because it's a little bit different than La-La. It's a little bit different than Tinseltown.
Surprise
you know,
you
sometimes people get comfortable. Not LeBron. No. Well, I'm just talking about potentially a dark horse. I don't believe it. I don't believe that's gonna happen. But you look at their personnel and you just say to yourself, damn, if they gave some more effort, they could make some noise. They could make some noise. You just don't expect them to because the effort ain't consistently there.
So do you agree with that? Do you think the Lakers could potentially be a dark horse?
Girl, if and buts were candy and nuts, sure. Like, why not? Like, I'm not going to say no team out of respecting NBA teams. I'm not going to say anybody can't win. But as I look at this with my rational basketball mind, whether it's the effort, the defense, or the depth, whichever issue you want to pick, they got some issues in terms of trying to win at a high level. But to Stephen A's point, as he started, he's right. The needs are the needs, SA, but we all know that the assets, in terms of how you go and address those needs, are going to look very different this summer as opposed to right now.
Perk, what do you think? Could they be a dark horse?
Yeah. Hell no. Absolutely not. Look, I'm telling you this. Guys like Anthony Edwards, SGA, the San Antonio Spurs backcourt. By the way, they play the Spurs tonight, so let's tune in and watch that game because every time they play the Spurs, they get cooked, especially on the perimeter. Teams are looking forward to playing against the Los Angeles Lakers with a healthy squad out there. And I know those guys haven't been healthy, but you're talking about a 41-year-old LeBron James, Austin Reeves, and Luka. You're talking about those three guys being on the floor together. Right now, all three guys are defensive liabilities. All three of those guys are not great at all when it comes down to sliding your puppies. Okay, give LeBron James the benefit of the doubt and say that he is 41 years old. You can't expect him to be out there and be this defensive guru. I give you that. But looking at your two guys that you got plans on building your franchise around, and Luka and Austin Reeves, man, they're cooked. The league is waiting on those two guys when it comes down to matchups in the post game. I believe this Laker team, their ceiling is the second round.
Oh, okay. Also, all of this chatter.
Well, listen.
Go ahead,
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. But what I'm saying to you is this: when we're talking about effort, a collective effort on the defensive side of the ball, which we don't see enough of from the Lakers. That's a huge, huge impediment. We know, and I think even Perk would agree, offensively, when they get going, they can hang with anybody offensively. The problem is that you can't get stops. This is why, even though we respect the job that J.J. Redick and his coaching staff has done, and major, major props to them, a lot of us feel compelled to never let anybody forget about Darvin Ham. Because with him coaching the Lakers, guess what?
The core tactical issue identified in the transcript regarding the Los Angeles Lakers is not merely a question of effort in the abstract, but rather a failure of defensive continuity and roster construction relative to the modern NBA's pacing. When LeBron James alludes to the inability to sustain energy for 48 minutes, He is referencing a physiological and schematic breakdown that occurs when a roster lacks sufficient two-way personnel. From a film study perspective, the Lakers' defensive rating fluctuates drastically based on game state. The statistic cited, being 23-0 when leading entering the fourth quarter, indicates a team that is structurally sound when dictating tempo, but tactically fragile when forced to play from behind or in high-leverage clutch situations against disciplined execution. Technically, the primary point of failure is at the point of attack, POA. The transcript highlights the defensive liabilities in the backcourt, specifically mentioning Austin Reeves and the hypothetical integration of offensive-heavy guards. In modern pick-and-roll coverages, if the screen navigator cannot maintain contact or effectively ice the ball handler, the entire defensive shell is compromised. This forces the backline anchor into impossible decision-making scenarios. Step up to contest the drive and leave the dunker spot open, or stay in drop coverage and concede the mid-range pull-up. The Lakers lack the lateral mobility on the perimeter to prevent paint touches without overhelping, which triggers a chain reaction of rotation failures. Furthermore, the discussion regarding shot quality metrics is significant. The anomaly where the Lakers shoot a higher percentage on contested jumpers versus wide-open looks suggests a disconnect in offensive rhythm and mental focus. Tactically, open shots are often generated through drive and kick actions that require the shooter to be ready to fire off the catch. A low conversion rate on these looks implies poor floor spacing or inconsistent pass placement, disrupting the shooter's mechanics. Conversely, hitting contested shots is often a result of individual isolation talent rather than sustainable offensive flow. Relying on high-difficulty shot making is high variance and inefficient for long-term postseason success. Defensively, the hunting strategy employed by opponents is clear. Teams are identifying the weakest lateral defender, often Reeves or an aging LeBron in transition, and forcing them into isolation via switches. Without a secondary rim protector or an aggressive low-man rotation to tag the roller, these matchups result in high-efficiency offensive possessions for the opposition. The fool's gold mentioned regarding individual stats like double-doubles without defensive impact underscores the importance of advanced metrics over box score counting stats. A center can collect rebounds, but fail to deter rim attempts effectively if they are constantly put in rotation due to perimeter blow-bys. Ultimately, the Lakers' ceiling is capped not by their offensive ceiling, but by their inability to execute a cohesive defensive string that forces opponents into their secondary or tertiary options late in the shot clock.